Lynay is an experiment at building community through diversity. We are differing individuals who gather as a group each week to grow together as a community, to connect and pray for one another, and to learn from each other and from area servant leaders. When we're not together, we are actively leading and serving our world in hopes of building stronger, more engaged, and loving communities, all for the glory of God. Jason, in his work with Play for More, had kind of come up with this imagination that we could do a soccer camp for refugee children, and we just started praying about it. And then we brought a young woman named Annie Jacobs with the Bob Goff organization called Love Does to campus to speak to our Lynay students.
And I ran into Annie really through a book I read by Bob Goff. I told him about an idea I was working on called Play for More Soccer, and he then forwarded my information to Annie.
Walking along the sidewalk one day, and Annie simply states, "Oh yes, we have a school for Ukrainian refugee children in Warsaw, Poland." And you're kind of like, well, God opens that door, and so it's just a matter of like connecting a lot of little dots, going through the doors that God opens, and all the while praying for it.
Started out really as me wanting to be able to travel. I've never left the country, and so that was a really important thing for me. But once we got to the interview process and I really started reflecting on what this trip was going to do, I fell in love with the mission that this trip was going to convey, especially working with the VBS kids and teaching them about God in a way that they maybe never been taught before, and bringing hope and joy to them. So I definitely found out about this trip through the Lynay classroom and being a part of the Lynay program.
This mission trip for me was life-changing. Just getting to know those kids, I think even now that we're not there, I still think about them. Every time I see something remotely yellow and blue, I like turn around, or every time I see a kid just with a ball, it reminds me of like everything that we did over there. I don't think that I will go on with my life without like remembering what I did in Poland, because there was just so many things that were important for me and were important for those kids that just moved and like changed my life.
I think I wish that people get more involved, even me myself, with what is happening in the world, because it seems really far from where we live. When we get closer to them, when we got here, it was just really, we saw the situation of the families and kids, and it's just touching. Like we cannot ignore what we see. Should feel that way back home, and just devote time to educate ourselves in what is happening so that we can help others.
I saw my students that we brought from ACU just really engage these students and connect and really be impacted themselves. And so anytime you get to impact a population but also see your students grow, I think is a success.
Annie is welcoming, because I've heard that from other people. I am welcoming. I like to understand people. I like to make people comfortable, understand them, try to connect with them, but also make them feel comfortable wherever they are.
Henry is a guy that loves to talk to other people, learn new cultures, new languages, travel, not get comfortable, explore, and serve.
Emma Rose is different after this trip. This trip changed me for the better, and I feel like I have a different perspective on the world than I had before coming to Warsaw and working with the Ukrainian refugees.
Lynay, we are servants, we are leaders. We will love the next person we meet, and we will build stronger communities because of our love.